Welcome to Rocksolid Productions, where in this video we are going to unbox the Hyperkin RetroN 3 HD Clone NES, Super NES, and Sega Genesis HDMI equipped video game system. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rocksolid Productions. Now before we get started, I just want to take a second and say thanks for stopping by and checking out what we have going on here on the channel. If you like what you see here, I invite you to check out some of the other videos that we have on the channel, including a full Hyperkin playlist that we'll have linked up there in the upper corner. You can also check out our full-blown reviews and unboxings of some of the other Hyperkin systems like the Hyperkin RetroN HD and the RetroN 2 HD. And if you really like what you see here, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and that bell notification. That way each and every time we come out with new content, you are kept the most up to date. What I want to know too, down in the comment section, let me know out of the NES, the Super NES, Super Famicom, and the Genesis MegaDrive, out of those three systems, what's your favorite? For me, doesn't get much better than the Super NES and Super Famicom Super Mario World, one of the greatest games ever produced. So Hyperkin has a new clone system, the RetroN 3 HD, and this is designed to play, like I mentioned in the intro, NES, Super Famicom, Genesis, and Mega Drive games all in one HDMI equipped system. Now this does come in two different colors, and I have to thank all of our followers here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and our Patreon subscribers as well, who helped us decide which color system were we going to review. Now originally, there's this red that you see here, there's also a black version that will pop on screen right here. When I initially pre-ordered this, the black one was the winner. Well, I pre-ordered through Amazon, and at least in this instance, Amazon sucks. I pre-ordered it a few days before it was slated to ship on February the 21st. I paid for this out of my own money. This was not provided by Hyperkin. I was expecting it to arrive on February 21st or to get notification that it shipped February 21st. Well, on February 24th, I got a notification from Amazon that I could expect my RetroN 3 HD on the 25th of April. That's right, the 25th of April. Angry, frustrated, irritated, I went to the product page. On the black one it said 1 in stock, order soon. On the red one it said 2 in stock, order soon. I used the chat function to talk to Amazon. I called and talked to them. I'm like, hey, what's going on? They're here. Why can't I have one of these? Just take that, put it, allocate it, good. No sir, we need to go ahead and we need to cancel your order. You'll need to order again and then go ahead and we'll get it out to you that way. They're Amazon, for crying out loud, and they completely dropped the ball on this. I did wind up canceling my order. I ordered through another retailer that got it to me in 3 days. So thank you much, and Amazon, you kind of suck on this one. So with that kind of out of the way, that story here, we did initially, the winner in our poll, black or red, which one should we unbox? The black one initially won, but after having to reorder, the red one was actually the winner. So that's what you see here. It does come in those two different colors, and it is designed to play a ton of different games. So what we're going to do, enough talking, we're going to take this, we're going to throw it on the bench, we're going to see how it comes out of the box and how it comes equipped. Now this is strictly an unboxing. We will be doing a separate review of this and a comparison between this and the Retrobit Super Retro Trio 3 Plus. So stay tuned. Again, hit that subscribe button so you can see all that content. We're going to take this, hit the bench. Let's go. So here we have the box on the bench. It is the RetroN 3 HD 3-in-1 retro gaming console for the NES, Super Famicom, and Genesis Mega Drive. I do like the fact that they're calling out all of the variants on there. So you have both the NES, Super NES, Super Famicom, Genesis Mega Drive. I like that. Looking down below on the box here, you get to see that it is a 720p output, 16:9 or 4:3 switch. They are claiming that there are premium controllers in here. We will see exactly how premium they are. NTSC and PAL switch, along with a 6-foot micro cable, assuming that is for power. Now, checking out the back, there's a lot of copy on here, but the RetroN 3 HD is compatible with NTSC and PAL NES, Super NES, Super Famicom, and Genesis MegaDrive cartridges, and plays them in stunning 720p. Can we stop saying 720p is stunning? I think we're to that point. It'll look good, but 720p, eh. It includes a Scout and a Squire premium classic style controller, 3-foot HD cable, and a 6-foot microcharge cable. Its controller ports support 2 compatible controllers for each console, change between 4:3 and 16:9 aspect ratios via the RetroN 3 HD's aspect ratio switch, HD cable only. You can even play via AV with the provided AV cables. Here you can also see HD audio and video 720p with 16:9 4:3 switch, high compatibility with NTSC and PAL NES, Super NES, Super Famicom, and Genesis MegaDrive cartridges. Hyperkin engineered perfect pin, patent pending technology, sets a new standard for state-of-the-art high quality pins. Comes with a Scout and a Squire premium classic style controller. 3-foot HD cable, controller ports support compatible controllers for each console. Includes AV ports with AV cables, 6-foot microcharge cable, and AC adapter. So we do have a little bit of a bigger box here, so you may see a little bit off the edge of the table over there, just as a heads up. And there we have the console itself. We'll pull that out. It's one of the things is with Hyperkin stuff where they've got this insert, the console tends to get hung up on the cardboard on the top. And we will set the console aside for right this second. You have the Squire Genesis controller. You have the Scout Super NES controller. And again, we'll take a closer look at those in a second. You've got your instruction manual and then this insert in the bottom of the box. So inside that insert, you do get an HDMI cable, only 3 feet long, kind of short. I probably won't actually use this myself. You have a micro USB cable for power. It's kind of funny that this looks like it's about 6 feet long, whereas the HDMI cable only 3 feet long. You do have included AV cables if you do want to hook up that way. Now this one did include a power brick, the instruction manual itself. Now looking first of all at the Scout controller, because I'm really familiar with this because, well, the Scout wireless controller is my default controller for playing my Super NES, at least like I say, the wireless version. I like the fact that you can see through this to see like the circuit boards and everything. That to me, super cool. Now the buttons are 2-color, you know, dark gray, light gray. They are concave, convex, which is nice. D-pad feels good. L&R triggers feel good. I mean, it feels like a Scout controller, and that's a good thing because this is has been a pretty good controller, just in a new color now. 10-foot long controller cable, so that's awesome. Now the Squire controller, I don't have as much experience with. I have reviewed the Mega RetroN HD, and I used this controller, and it felt good. I just don't tend to use the my Mega RetroN that often because I've got a I've got my Genesis with the HD Retrovision cables. Still, I never understood why the XYZ were made smaller than ABC. I've never understood that. It does have a mode switch button on top, which is a good thing. Again, 10-foot long cable on the back. We have the 2 humps on the back here too, and that kind of gives you a little bit more to hold on to. Again, just a really comfortable, well put together controller. Hyperkin's controllers lately have come a long way. But enough about accessories. Let's talk about the system itself. So let's look first of all just at the front part here. We have your power switch, and basically you have a slide switch for Super NES. Super Famicom is in the bottom, Genesis in the middle, for NES in the top. You have a push button, power button here. Your reset button is right there. On the face of the unit itself, you do have 2 Super NES controllers labeled port 1 and port 2. On the right hand side, you have 2 Genesis controller ports. Now, I have not looked at the opposite side. I'm hoping there's NES controller ports. Yes, there are NES controller ports. So I kind of wish they would have put the Cadet in here then too, so you have a controller for each. I understand you can play NES games with Super NES and Genesis controllers, but still having an NES controller in here would have been a lot nicer. So on the bottom you have a couple switches. Each one is for NTSC or PAL. Now on the bottom, this is the Super NES one, so NTSC, PAL. In the middle is actually for the Sega Genesis side of it, and you have NTSC, NTSC-J, NTSC-U, and PAL. Here in the US, we'll use NTSC-U unless you have import stuff. And then on the very top, you have NTSC and PAL for the NES. On the back here, you have the business end. You have your 4x3 16x9 switch, your HDMI output, your AV outputs, and then your micro USB input for power. I will say it's heavier than I expected. I do want to check what the cartridge slots feel like real quick here too. And I just grabbed 3 random games for no other reason other than they were games sitting on an area where I could grab. So first, this is WWF Raw by LJN. Going to the Super NES side of things. Not a death grip. It is a solid grip. But definitely not a death grip. Very similar to like the Super RetroN HD and the RetroN 2 HD, so Super NES side feels good. Next up, we are going to do the Genesis, and this is Star Trek The Next Generation for the Genesis. That's a lot tighter. Wow! Holy crap! Alright, I gotta look at those pins just to make sure I didn't bend any. That was super tight. Like, it's hard to get in. I don't want to spit on it. Wow, that is way tighter than the Mega RetroN was. That I would almost classify as a death grip. That is way too tight. And then finally, for Castlemania Orion, my copy of Demon Sword. Yeah, the NES and the Super NES side are fine, but the Genesis, I can't believe. Wow, that's hard. I can't believe that. Let's wrap things up. So there you have my unboxing of the RetroN 3 HD, and I mean, it seems like a pretty well put together little device, not like a little droid, a little device. The tightness on the pins though on the Genesis side, that's crazy. I'm hoping that frees up. That is something that we will look into and examine during our full-blown review on this. I do like the fact that even though it's not on the website, it does include the NES controller ports on it. Even if they didn't include the controller, Hyperkin, just a request as an end user, throw a picture up on the product page that shows the fact that it has all 3 connector types on the system. I was concerned that it would only have NES and Genesis, so I'm glad to see all 3 are in there. Both the black and the red look neat. I do think the red, at least the pictures on the website, it kind of looks a little cheap. Also, it doesn't come through that the red one is also transparent like the black one was. I was kind of hoping the black one was going to win. Actually, I was happy initially the black one did win our poll because that one, looking at it, you can see through it. It is transparent. I love the fact this one is also transparent too. Let us know what you want us to check out in our review and in our head-to-head against the Super Retro Trio 3 Plus from Retrobit, because we are going to be producing both of those videos very shortly here. And that's another reason, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you like what you see here, if you want to see more, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification. That way when we do upload those videos, you are kept the most informed and up to date and alerted when they come out. Now, if you do want to order a RetroN 3 HD of your own, learn from my mistakes, don't order through Amazon, head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. And the cool thing over there is at CastlemaniaGames.com they have what's called Castle Cash. And the cool thing about Castle Cash is it's just like cash. The more you spend on the website, the more you earn that you can use towards future purchases and save yourself money down the road. The cool thing too is you can also use promo code ROCKSOLID10 to save 10%, so that's kind of cool out there too. If you haven't done so yet too, make sure you sign up for the CastlemaniaGames.com email newsletter. There's extra savings, announcements, things like that that are always in there too for you guys to go ahead and check out. Now, if you do want to help support the future of Rock Solid Productions, so we can do things like buy a RetroN 3 HD for review, so we can get new lights, new cameras, new microphones, do me a favor, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you get early access to all of our videos, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. You can also head on over to our Teespring store on screen right now, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more that you can go ahead and show your Rock Solid Productions pride. And like I say, everything that we raise gets put right back into the channel, whether we're buying new equipment or new items for us to go ahead and test here on the channel. And again, do me a favor, thumbs up button, subscribe button, bell notification. Check out our Hyperkin playlist too, because I have a sneaking suspicion that the way this performs is going to be very similar to how that performed and the Mega RetroN HD. Now, I don't know yet, I haven't tried it, I haven't watched any reviews yet, so we're going to see how this performs here shortly. I am Gary, this has been Rock Solid Productions and our unboxing of the Hyperkin RetroN 3 HD. I thank you for watching. I hope to see you back soon for our review.